Hello. A few years ago, I went for a walk with a friend along the Maas, which had just had an extremely high water level. The sandbags were still in place, but the water level to normal again. One could exactly see how high the water level had been. All the trees along the Maas, as far as the eye could see, were covered with plastic bags, up to 4 meters above the ground. Although it was a fascinating sight, like a lineup of Christmas trees, I asked myself, why is nobody doing anything about it? And that's all I did, asking a rhetorical question. And I went on with my life. At the start of this year, I made a resolution. I wanted to do something about complaining. Complaining only lowers energy, that of your partner and yourself. I experienced firsthand that complaining doesn't solve anything. But doing something, no matter how small, helps a lot and creates results. So I started this blog, Clean, about the importance to stop complaining and start acting. I also took a good look in the mirror to see what I was complaining about myself. Apart from the need of a haircut, I saw that I was complaining about littering, people littering the streets, so I started to pick up litter. First, surreptitiously, because I felt a little ashamed. Also, I began to read about the consequences of litter, and then I saw this picture. Made in January this year by Piet Driessen from a tree along the Maas after another high tide. Once more I asked the question, why is nobody doing anything about it? But this time it wasn't a rhetorical question. I decided to become that nobody. As I read more, I became more and more aware of the consequences of litter. 80% of plastic soup originates from land-based litter. Do you know what plastic soup is? It's the common name for the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, the churchyard of all the thrown away plastics. It's an excellent name. It looks like soup, and we're gonna eat it. Better put, our children are gonna eat it, and it's flavored with pesticides. More than 100 billion kilos of plastic drifts out there in the oceans, but this number is too big to comprehend. And since we can't imagine how big 100 billion is, we feel nothing, so we do nothing. But let me translate this number into something we can comprehend. We are in this theater, approximately with 5,000 people. Imagine each one of you, the captain of his own trawler, working 10 hours a day. We still need 500 years to clean it up. 5,000 ships, 500 years. About 500 years ago, Columbus discovered America. We humans managed to create this problem in just less than 50 years. So people can create something enormous without any effort. Keep that in mind, because it's also part of the solution. To clean up the waste, this waste, is a waste of time. We should focus on stopping the growth. Usually when I tell people about the plastic soup, the common reaction is we should ban plastic. Or people who litter the streets should be punished more severely. This amounts to shifting responsibility and wanting somebody else to change their behavior. That's not going to work. Most people have great difficulty to change their own behavior and life. Look at all those self-help books that are being sold. How can one expect somebody else to change? The only thing you can do is to take a look at what you can do and make small steps towards your goal. It doesn't matter how big the problem is, even if it's only a drop in the ocean. Consider even a heavy shower starts with the first drop. I pick up litter every time when I cycle without effort. I calculated, if every citizen would also pick up one piece of litter once a week, the increase of the plastic soup through land-based litter would be stopped. You could ask, do you expect me to pick up someone else's trash? It doesn't belong anymore to the person who ditched it. It's our litter and our problem, since it can end up in our food chain. If there's a 10-euro note on the street, I don't see people walking by saying, that's not mine. No. But do you know that the reward is far greater when you pick up litter? How often do you hear people say, I want to leave the world a better place? I experience that every day, everywhere I pass. The world behind me is a bit cleaner, more beautiful, and hence better. How do you think this affects your self-esteem, your happiness? I threw away my self-help books, of course, in the waste paper basket. I hope next time you see litter, you won't step over it, but will pick it up for your benefit and generations to come. Thank you.